What's happening? This is Joshua Boetsi, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
So the unified lightweight champion of the world, Vasyl Lomachenko, well, I say unified, virtually. He's got 3 of the 4 main belts, and he's looking to be taking on the winner of Richard Commey and Josito Lopez. Now, he says that if Deontay Wilder and Oleksandr Usyk were to fight, Oleksandr Usyk would school him. Now, first of all, it's just an opinion because until 2 fighters get in the ring, we don't know exactly how certain fights will go. Maybe Deontay Wilder will land that big right hand and Usyk could be out of there. You never know. Now, when it comes to skill levels, quite clearly Oleksandr Usyk it's not even close when it comes to Deontay Wilder and Oleksandr Usyk. Even the most hardcore Wilder fans can certainly say that. But of course, Wilder, he does have a canny knack of landing that big right hand at some point. He's as dangerous in the first round and round number 12. He's dangerous right the way through. He seems to carry freakish power, that is for sure. But Oleksandr Usyk, he's been in with big punches and that before, and he will bring a game plan to nullify Wilder's right hand and make Wilder look silly. That's what Oleksandr Usyk does. Usyk, not the biggest or the fastest starter in the world, and for me, I think that if Wilder is going to get Usyk out of there, it needs to be in the first couple of rounds. After that, Usyk will start to adjust to Wilder, and it'll be pretty much game over. Not a guarantee, as I said before, but we could look at it and say, but Oleksandr Usyk, he's southpaw, and with Luis Ortiz, who Wilder's going to be taking on next, he's also southpaw, and Luis Ortiz is also very skillful. He's not as skillful as Usyk, but Ortiz is slower than Usyk. Ortiz will take punches to land punches at times. Usyk doesn't. So Usyk, he's got a youth on his side as far as Ortiz goes. Not that Usyk is really young, not at all, but he's still fast. He's very agile. He's got 0 miles on the clock, really, when you look at it. And he's very, very accustomed to traveling to other people's backyards as well. So Usyk is at home in your house as he is in his own. So when it comes down to it with him and Wilder, listen, we don't know how the fight's going to go. And to be honest, I don't think we're going to see that fight, especially if it is a voluntary. We ain't going to see it. Wilder will not want that smoke with Oleksandr Usyk. I'm telling you, he won't want it. He can say how Usyk is too small, he's not a threat and all this kind of thing, but that's just bravado. Okay, that's just him trying to big up himself and make it look like Usyk isn't some kind of threat. So therefore, why would I want to go fight him for when there's bigger, more dangerous guys out there? That's what he's saying, but secretly inside he's probably thinking, no, I don't want any of that smoke. Which is kind of weird, really. I mean, if Usyk is that easy, this would fit what Wilder does historically, wouldn't it? Wilder fights the guys that he should beat. Wilder fights guys that are not really a danger to him. This is what Wilder does historically. So you'd think that if he was genuine about it, he probably would fight Usyk. But we know that ain't going to happen. And if Usyk was to become a world champion, we're probably never going to see undisputed because Wilder just isn't going to fight Oleksandr Usyk for undisputed for no amount of money. He will avoid Usyk, much like he's avoided Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua. Wilder fans don't like hearing this, but listen, you can't hide behind the truth. Telling the truth is not hating. Again, it's just an opinion. Who knows? Maybe if the Tyson Fury fight don't come off, and who knows, maybe Wilder will give Usyk a voluntary. Unlikely. Very, very unlikely. I mean, again, Usyk, he is mandatory for the winner of Ruiz and Joshua, but so is Pulev. But Pulev's IBF and Usyk is WBO. So whichever one he fights, he can end up fighting for a vacant belt, or he'll end up fighting the winner of Ruiz and Joshua. And apparently that will be next. There will be no in-between fight and what have you. But I know that a lot of people will look at Oleksandr Usyk and go, but he's too small and what have you. But he's exactly the same height as Luis Ortiz. Exactly the same height. When Usyk was fighting in the Olympics and the amateurs, the weight that he was fighting at was the same weight that Wilder was also fighting at in the Olympics. So you can't really say that Oleksandr Usyk is too small. But if Wilder believes he's too small, cool, go fight him. But it ain't going to happen. And the reason it ain't going to happen, as I said before, is because he won't want to risk it. He'd rather go fight Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, very little danger of him knocking out Deontay Wilder. Very, very little danger. And these are the kind of fights that Wilder likes. With Luis Ortiz, he's far too old now. Luis Ortiz is older than Usyk by quite a few years. He's older than Alexander Povetkin, and he's slower than all of them now as well, and hasn't looked too good his last couple of fights. Now, I know that Wilder versus Ortiz, that will be on Sky Sports here in the UK. No idea if it's pay-per-view. If it is, I ain't paying for that. I ain't paying for it. And I do feel bad for those Wilder fans in America who do want to support Wilder, but you're going to have to pay pay-per-view to watch him fight a guy that he's already beaten and looks terrible over his last couple of fights. So I do feel bad for you in that way. But, of course, people will watch it because you never know. Ortiz will have a puncher's chance. And, again, if he can get past the first couple of rounds, maybe, again, I mean, if he gets Wilder in trouble, will he stop him? I don't know. I really don't know. But either way, I think Oleksandr Usyk, would he school Deontay Wilder? I don't know whether or not he'd school him. I think, if anything, it'd probably be quite a boring fight. Wilder will be chasing him around, and Usyk will be looking to counterpunch him, jab him to the body, all that kind of thing. I don't think Usyk would stop Wilder. I know a lot of you guys think that maybe he would. Me personally, I don't think that he'd stop Wilder. But if it goes to 12, then I think Usyk probably beats him 10 rounds to 2 or something like that. So anyway, listen, that's Vasyl Lomachenko's opinion. Of course, he is always going to back his fellow countrymen anyway. But yeah, article in the description box. Drop your thoughts below about it. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.